The Aston Martin Valkyrie boasts a horsepower of around 1160. Sounds exciting, right? Unfortunately, that hype comes with a hefty price tag. In this case, the Valkyrie is priced at $3.5 million. Naturally, besides their name, brand, and several other specifications, Aston Martin's selling their phenomenal horsepower, and that's not going to be cheap. But what about the average Joe who dreams of upgrading to a swifter ride? Do you really think someone would just dish out millions every time they want to upgrade to a faster car? In a perfect world, sure. In this one though, we'll have to make do with these 8 tips on how to increase your car's horsepower without declaring bankruptcy. Number 1. Upgrading to a performance air filter. It's quite remarkable to think of how far we've come from the earliest steam engine design to modern-day engines, right? Well, what if I told you that there isn't a whole lot of difference between the first engine design and a present-day one? The fact of the matter is that engines are, for lack of a better term, gigantic air pumps. Their entire purpose rests on how efficiently they're able to transfer air from an inlet to an outlet, or however many there are. With this oversimplification in mind, a more improved engine would be the sort that transfers clean and crisp air through and through a whole lot faster. What is horsepower if not the efficiency of an engine, right? I think you can see where I'm going with this. So one of the easiest ways to improve your car's horsepower is by swapping out that old, dusty air filter for a newer one. Should you swap it for a new one by the car's manufacturer? Look, it's been tried and tested with the dusty air filter, serving as a baseline for horsepower, a new filter from the manufacturer, and an aftermarket filter to see which one provides the most. The conclusion was pretty obvious. The old and dusty air filter that probably wasn't checked in on from day one provided the least horsepower. The new one from the manufacturer provided more, sure, but not too much more. See, the manufacturer can't undermine their credibility by having you swap out air filters every so often because one expires. The difference here is essentially between a clean and dusty air filter, and that's about it. Now, the aftermarket air filter, on the other hand, provided way more horsepower than the clean one from the car's own manufacturer. I'd say that was an obvious thing, though. The aftermarket component was designed and marketed to provide improved horsepower. Number 2. Improved exhaust system. You're able to go about your day a lot better when you can breathe better. Or, well, at least your car is able to perform better when the engine is allowed to breathe clean air. Here's the deal. Your engine accumulates carbon monoxide each time it generates power. The oxygen inlet needs to be replenished every time it is expected to work at full capacity. Again, that's an oversimplification of how an engine works, but you can get the gist of it. So carbon monoxide is supposed to go out of the channel, or you could say it's supposed to be exhausted. The solution is an exhaust, and for improved horsepower, the solution would obviously be an improved exhaust system. Traditionally, exhaust systems are usually installed for efficiency or vanity. With regards to vanity, you'd probably find obnoxious exhaust systems on cars that were designed to be loud and more stylish. However, there's no one saying you can't have efficiency with style. An improved exhaust system transfers the carbon monoxide out of your engine faster, allowing oxygen to take up the space and actually be useful for the engine, hence improves its horsepower. Number 3. Performance throttle bodies. The air intake system of an engine can be improved with a performance throttle body. That's the term used for the component that controls the amount of air that enters the engine. The air that enters triggers combustion and generates power, and is then used to determine horsepower. A performance throttle body is therefore an important contributor to how efficiently your car rides. So, how can you improve your horsepower even further with a performance throttle body? Firstly, a larger component with an increased diameter would allow more airflow into the engine and improve its breathing capacity. Many aftermarket components come with a butterfly valve design with an improved airflow profile that can enhance air swirl and distribution for better combustion. Likewise, you could upgrade to higher flow units. Sometimes, however, the solution is a lot simpler than you'd think. Port matching is when you match the throttle body size with the shape of the intake manifold port. This reduces any turbulence and ensures a dynamic airflow. Don't have $3.5 million for a Valkyrie? Don't worry. Just dish out between $70 to $1,000 at most for a throttle body. Stick around for number 8 because it's so easy you'll beat yourself up for not thinking of it yourself. Number 4. Forced induction. By now, you probably get the gist of what's required to make the most out of your engine and thus improve on its horsepower. It all lies with the air intake and output. For this one now, we'll be focusing on the intake. A turbo or supercharger will compress air and allow for more of it to enter into the engine at a faster and more profound rate. Does this increase horsepower? Thinking about the dynamics of a car design, yes it does. However, this one comes with a bit of a warning. Forced induction adds a lot of strain to the engine. This could damage it in the long run. The best way to counteract this would be to install an intercooler. This will cool the charged air that's been heated by the turbo, thus increasing the efficiency of the ignited fuel and air mixture at the top of the compression stroke. Number 5. Remapping your ECU. The engine control unit, or the ECU, is fitted with a factory chip that ensures compliance with fuel regulations. This aids the economy of the car. Tuning experts modify the ECU's software to adjust factors like air-fuel ratios, ignition timing, and turbocharger boost levels. These adjustments improve engine efficiency, allowing for increased power output. ECU remapping can unlock hidden potential in the engine, resulting in more horsepower and torque. It's a cost-effective and non-invasive method to extract additional performance from a vehicle without the need for physical modifications. Number 6. High-octane fuel. High-octane fuel increases horsepower by resisting engine knock and detonation. Its higher octane rating allows it to withstand greater compression before igniting spontaneously. This permits engines with higher compression ratios or forced induction systems to operate efficiently without premature combustion, enabling more aggressive timing and air-fuel mixture adjustments. The result is improved power delivery as the engine can generate more controlled and powerful explosions, ultimately translating into increased horsepower and performance. Number 7. Cylinder head and camshaft upgrades. Cylinder head and camshaft upgrades increase horsepower by optimizing airflow and combustion within the engine. A modified cylinder head with improved porting and polishing enhances the intake and exhaust flow, allowing for more air and fuel mixture into the cylinders. Simultaneously, upgraded camshafts alter valve timing, increasing the duration and lift of the valves opening and closing, allowing for better air intake and exhaust evacuation. These modifications improve engine efficiency, resulting in increased power production and higher horsepower output. Number 8. Nitrous oxide. Nitrous oxide, or NOS, systems increase horsepower by introducing additional oxygen into the engine's combustion process. When NOS is injected, it breaks down into nitrogen and oxygen at high temperatures, supplying extra oxygen for combustion. This allows the engine to burn more fuel, generating a sudden and substantial power boost. NOS systems are typically used for short bursts, like during drag races, providing a temporary surge in horsepower that can significantly enhance a vehicle's performance. Is that all? No, not by a long shot. Nitrous oxide has an additional cooling benefit. You see, when it vaporizes, it reduces the intake temperature, increasing the density of the air and providing more oxygen into the cylinder. The only downside to using nitrous oxide, however, is that it's relatively bulky and the engine needs a lot of it to increase horsepower substantially. Don't worry though, you'll get out all the power you need to make sure your car is racing through the streets with nitrous oxide. That's all for today's episode. Do you know any other ways to improve your car's horsepower? Which ones would you recommend? Let us know in the comments below. We love hearing your thoughts and hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give this video a big thumbs up and don't forget to click the subscribe button and hit the notification bell. We will see you next time with a brand new video. Until then, take care.